Okay, we're ready for 45. Load. All right. Hello, Leslie. Thank you for coming. Are you going to give us an update on Scranton Tomorrow? And thank you for coming in.
Push. There we go. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for letting me join you today. It's been a while since I have been to City Council, so I thought it might be helpful if I give an update of our accomplishments as we ended our 2023 fiscal year. And then I thought next time I come, and maybe Frank, maybe we can schedule for early fall, then I can report for the first 2 quarters of 2024, if that works for you. Perfect. So as you know, Scranton Tomorrow continues to follow the Pennsylvania Main Street model for downtown revitalization. And I would like to give a heartfelt thank you from Scranton Tomorrow and our board members, most certainly, for City Council's support in us pursuing that mission in managing the downtown revitalization efforts. And we thank you very much for the resolution that was recently passed. We are going back in for a redesignation of the formal Main Street, and we're in the middle of that process currently, so we are very hopeful that we will receive that designation. As it turns out, after a certain number of years, we are up for redesignation. Like I said, I would like to briefly go over some of our 2023 accomplishments as we just closed out our fiscal year. First and foremost, I think it's imperative we start with the Pocket Park, as we are very excited that the park is completed as far as construction and landscaping. As you all know, we did just go through the process of the formal dedication, and the park was honored, what we are honoring, obviously, former Mayor Christopher Doherty. So we were very excited to, lead the partnership. We feel that, all the partners, the city, the county, and many, many other partners that really made the park come to fruition. We are very grateful for all of them, and they all brought great expertise, time, and talent to make this happen for the city of Scranton. We all know that the park was a complicated site. It included many stages, sometimes not so public in those many stages, but obviously it did take a number of years for the park to come to fruition. But those stages did include the purchase of the site, the remediation, the material removal, backfilling the site, architectural and engineering, and construction and landscaping. Throughout all of those phases, there were certain regulations we needed to abide by, both local and state, and working with DEP and with remediation teams and engineering and architectural teams. We are very, very proud that the park has come to completion, and we are really hopeful that the city will embrace the park and that it is open to all, which is just a wonderful opportunity, especially in an urban center. So we are looking forward to moving to the next stages, and I do know that there have been a number of individuals that have come to City Council throughout the last few years and had a lot of questions about the park. But as we move forward now with how can the park be utilized, what type of programming should we be working on for the park, and programming that is free and open to the community, and what are the assets that we still need to build in the park. So that would be tables, chairs, hopefully a future sculpture, and those types of elements. So I have had some recent conversations with some individuals that do come to City Council, and hopefully we'll be meeting in the very near future. But if anyone else would like to join that conversation, they can always reach out to me at Scranton Tomorrow.
I have a quick question. Is there a permanent sign for the park?
So the
What's
sign
the deal with that?
The sign that we had at the dedication was a mock-up of the sign. That was a wooden structure, actually, that DX Dempsey had commissioned for us through the School of Architecture at Marywood. We did ask Michelle Dempsey, as part of our gateway study, to also include a template and a design for the park signage. So we're looking for it to mimic what we believe will be some of the gateway signage, so that it's in that same family. It's not going to look like a gateway, but will be park signage. There will be one located on Wyoming Avenue, closer to the St. Luke's side of Wyoming, and then one positioned somewhere in the vicinity where we had the mock-up, the wooden version. But the final versions will actually be made out of steel. And I should mention too, you know, I always say throughout the last couple of years, the park is a great example of a public-private partnership. And I continue to believe that really this is the best example of public-private partnerships that in my 20 plus some years in economic and community development that I have ever been part of or have ever seen within the community. So we were, like I said, really honored to be part of that process. Our safe cleaning green. Oh, sure.
Just one more thing on the park. For community events, will it work the same way that it does with the city, where people will can request use of it for an event?
So we have some of the same questions. So we actually just met with Scott from Parks, the Parks Department, and those are some of the things that we would like clarification on. What is the process? You know, Scranton Tomorrow did utilize the park prior to the dedication for the Downtown on Ice Festival, and we did go through the official events application process to utilize the park for that event. So we're assuming there will be some type of process, whether that is the process that's used in other parks. I'm unclear of that right now, but we have been looking at, just to give you an idea, there are some partners that would like to do yoga in the park, Pilates in the park, those kinds of activities. So I think those are some of the questions we need are looking for some answers on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Our Safe Clean Green program is a huge component of what Scranton Tomorrow does, and our programming is led by Steve Ward, who's our project manager. And 2023, we have had remarkable, quantifiable outcomes. So I did want to share some of those with you. Our Safe Clean Green team has collected over 10,000 pounds of trash in 2023. We recycled over 50,000 K-cups. We are still receiving K-cups in our office. We've been doing that for about a year and a half. It's a very successful program. Obviously, the need was much greater than we had ever even imagined. We thought, oh, maybe we'll collect 3,000, 5,000. Well, we're up to 50,000. We now have containers outside of our office that if we are not currently at the office, that you can place those K-cups in very identifiable containers alongside of our building. We have engaged 4,961 participants throughout 2023 in our Safe Clean and Green programming alone. Outstanding volunteerism. And our City Pride program, which is a citywide beautification effort, it's actually a 2-decade-old signature project of Scranton Tomorrow, has also seen significant growth. During COVID, we realized that we needed additional outreach, and that our community members in our neighborhoods were really anxious to get back outside and really be part of the community and see their neighbors again. So we did look for project partners, and we thought the two perfect partners would be United Neighborhood Centers and NeighborWorks of Northeastern Pennsylvania. So we formed a wonderful partnership to bring them into the City Pride project. Through 2021, when we brought our project partners in, through the end of 2023, we saw a 230% increase in the number of projects, a 425% increase in participation, and 489% increase in our volunteer hours. Scranton Tomorrow is really pleased with those numbers. We're pleased with our partnership, and we have been built on that grassroots thought process and efforts. And so we think City Pride really is just a great example of an indicator of our ability to engage our community members, our nonprofit organizations, and our for-profit partners. And we also think that it was very clear from those exceptional numbers in a 2-year period that really the community is dedicated in making their home or their workplace or where they recreate a better place for everyone. So we did want to do a public thank you to all of our volunteers, to all of our for-profit and nonprofit partners for the magnificent work that they have done in 2023 for our City Pride program. It's also important to mention that Scranton Tomorrow has been approved as an affiliate of the Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful program. So we're really excited of being a partner with Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful. They also are a participant in the K-Cup program and City Pride, which is wonderful. And we will be hosting they will be hosting, and we will be supporting the Pennsylvania Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful conference, October 16th and 17th. So I would welcome all of you to take a look at the Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful website. You can attend the conference. Scranton Tomorrow will be hosting downtown walking tours, exhibiting all of the great work, especially the Pocket Park. They are ticketed events, and we also will be a host, as well as the City of Scranton, for the opening reception on the 16th. City Pride 2024 just closed this weekend. We're expecting that our numbers will be equally as impressive, so in the fall, next time I come, I'll be anxious to share those numbers with you as well. I did want to mention our mural arts program. As you know, our 4th mural was The Office, The Story of Us. We are still amazed by the amount of tourism and the that attraction has brought to the city, and it is still continuing to garner national attention. We do believe that that mural is the only nationally approved, or the only mural nationally approved by both Universal and Studios and Peacock. We did go through a very robust legal process to make sure that we had their approval, and every character that is in the mural, there are 17 characters, actually had to sign off on their image for the mural. If one character decided they didn't want to be in the mural would not have happened. So we're very proud of the process that we took to ensure that there were no copyright infringements or anything like that. So it continues to be a great attraction. Our mural arts program, under the leadership of Rose Randazzo, our mural chair, has 2 very important murals planned, one for 2024 and one for 2025. The 2024 mural will be adjacent to the Pocket Park, now Doherty Park, and will depict the history of jazz. It will be a very diverse mural. We have commissioned artist Eric Bussert to complete the mural for us, and the installation is planned for late summer, early fall, in conjunction with the Jazz Festival. We're also hoping to have some jazz music in the Pocket Park, and which we just thought would be a great opportunity to showcase both the park and to watch potentially Eric Bussert painting the jazz mural.
So Leslie, what building will that be on?
So it is going to be, it's visible from both Linden Street and Wyoming. It's the building that you see the wall, it's just a plain, very neutral wall that abuts the parking lot.
Is that just before the church, or does the church abut the park?
It's in the block after the church. So it's the 200 block. So it's across from St. Luke's.
Across from what?
Across the street from St. Luke's on Wyoming.
Oh, across the street, okay.
Yeah, so if you're looking at Fancy Parsley, the brick building that was the stables originally, the wall to the left of that.
Oh, I see, okay.
So the storefronts are actually on Wyoming. The side wall is what we're doing, and it's right up against the parking lot that's on the corner of Linden and Wyoming. So it's a
Nice.
great, really visible site. The mock-ups of the mural so far are really wonderful, so we're very excited about that. The second mural that we have slated is in partnership with Lackawanna County and the University of Scranton, and that mural will be in late summer, early fall of 2025. It is going to be a long process. However, it is the history of the Lenape tribe and the impact that they have had on our region. So there are, it will be about remembrance and continuance. And we are working with the Lenape tribe, and we have commissioned a Lenape artist to complete that mural. So that will be a long process, but it gives us a great opportunity for both educational opportunities and to build a lot of partnerships and really have a better understanding historically about the Lenape tribes.
Have you chosen a site for that one? Yeah.
We have, that site will be the side of the old Bricks building, which abuts the People's Bank parking lot.
Bricks building, okay. So
yes.
that's what, Franklin or Mifflin?
That is North Washington.
Wait, Bricks building.
Yes, so the old,
Oh, I got it.
yes.
People's
So it's
Security Bank.
across from Barpazo. Yeah, so this mural is just going to have so many opportunities for our community to come together and so many great opportunities to pull in additional partners, both for-profit and nonprofit, you know, for that community-based programming and educational opportunities. Liz Baldy is our development director, our business development director, and in February, I am hopping a little bit to February in 2024, but it was a year in the planning. As many of you may remember, in 2022, there was the Scranton Ice Festival, and when we heard that the Ice Festival was no longer going to happen, we immediately put a call out and said, you know what, this is something that we think has a great benefit for our community as a free, open event to the public, and we think it had great economic potential for our small business community. So we did rebrand the event, and we hosted the event, and we changed the name to Downtown on Ice. It took place in February, on the weekend that it was 65 degrees in the middle of February. But we had over 50 businesses participate with sculptures. They were absolutely magnificent. We had more than 5 live carvings. We had performances on Courthouse Square with choral groups and youth groups, dancers, jugglers, magicians. It just made for a really energetic and just a wonderful weekend. Like I mentioned earlier, we did utilize the park for children's events. The park was hopping with families and children, which was great to see. So we were, even though it was 60-some degrees, the businesses had a really successful financial weekend, and we have heard just great reviews from the community in general. So we are already in planning for February of 2025, and we're working on a theme, and the Ice Festival will be happening in 2025 as well. So I just wanted to give you that, you know, kind of quick overview of some of the things that we felt were really great accomplishments in 2025, or I'm jumping ahead now, in 2023. During 2024, we will be doing a public process and review of our grocery store study that we had commissioned through the Institute for Public Policy, as well as our gateway study that we commissioned with DX Dempsey. So we have some really exciting things to present to both you and to the general public in the upcoming months, and we will be working toward our annual meeting that we haven't had in a number of years, but we will be holding an annual meeting probably in September. We're also talking about bringing back the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast, which is a long-standing event, decades long, in Scranton. We had to postpone during COVID. Last year, we were still a little apprehensive of bringing it back and bringing people together. We normally have a room filled with over 500 individuals. It's an interfaith gathering. If you haven't been to it, it's just a beautiful event. It's an hour and 15 minutes long. Scranton School District Choir every year comes and sings at the event, which just was always a huge highlight. So Scranton Tomorrow is considering in bringing that back. If we do, it will be in late October. So we're hopeful that we'll be able to have a large gathering like that. We think it's very important to bring that back. And so that's really it for my report. If you have any questions.
The grocery store study and,
Yes.
and the gateway study, are those studies wrapped up at this point in time?
So we have the findings for both studies. The gateway study is wrapped up. We did do stakeholder meetings. We had a number of stakeholder meetings with developers, property owners along each of the gateways that we were looking at. So we do have a design, which is very exciting. The mayor has reviewed the findings, and so our next step is for us to take it to the next level. We would like to share it with City Council and then share it with the general public in the very near future. The grocery store study, we do have the findings. We are still going through internally those findings, and we have some questions to go back to the Institute with. They are wonderful to work with as well. So we do have a couple of questions and things that we're wondering if they could give us a little bit more of the background on some of the data details. And it's a really wonderful report, very in-depth report. So we'll be looking to share that publicly very shortly as well.
Do you happen to remember the cost of that study?
The cost of
The
this
cost,
study?
yeah.
Oh, I do. So we had a $50,000 grant from, I believe it's I'll verify this, but just through recollection, I believe it's a DCED grant. And we received this grant, I believe, during COVID. And we were looking for two studies, one grocery store, and we feel that's very important based on the fact that downtown is becoming a residential neighborhood. And so we were looking at what are the amenities that we're missing in the downtown. And we had had a lot of discussions and inquiries about a grocery store. And so we really wanted to, before we started to approach whether it's a local grocer or a national grocer or a grab and go, what really was the need. We didn't want to guess at that. So we did hire the Institute. I think we split the grant up somewhere about, it wasn't exactly 25 on one and 25 on the other. One might have been 27.5 and the other 23.5 or whatever the numbers would work out. So they're somewhere in the mid-20 range for both. And that was split among that $50,000 grant.
That was split on that study there, or that study and the gateway study?
Yes, so the gateway study and the grocery study were one grant.
Gotcha.
And when we applied for two different studies, somewhere in the 25,000 range for both, but one came in a little higher and one came out a little lower. We did do a public bid. They were advertised in the newspaper. We did receive bids, and we picked the most responsible and lowest bidder.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else? No? Leslie, thank you for coming in.
Oh,
and
thank
keeping
you.
us up to date on all the projects Scranton Tomorrow is doing. And thank you for all that you do for our city.
Perfect.
Thanks, Leslie. That's all great stuff.
Thank you. Well, once again, thank you for your support and your encouragement. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Do you have anything to?